saying, yeah, I watched that video. I was like, what? Is that even possible? Like that type of quality, like video wise, like that was the first time I saw like uh
Hmm.
guitar cover with that much like creativity. You know, I saw like the bottle thing you did.
Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah, it was super funny. I was like, I watched it. It was super fun, and yeah,
That was basically when I was like learning how to make videos, which I started doing because um, I basically just wanted to try to like promote myself as a guitarist.
yeah,
Um, so that was the only reason I started doing video, and I think that was the first one where I was like, actually happy with this. I was pretty stoked on that one.
yeah, for sure, man.
But yeah, it's a lot of trial and error getting it to look.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's super hard work, man. Like, I just started like making, guitar playthroughs and all that, and actually, I have you as a reference whenever I like, whenever I'm trying like to think like, oh, is this like enough good? Like, I don't like to compare myself, but like after you get like the product, I'm like, yeah, I want to get that type of quality, and yeah, so that was the first time. But I didn't know you, so I don't know, like, where are you from? Like, yeah, what state? Or
Philadelphia in
oh,
Pennsylvania. Yeah.
oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I grew up like an hour from here, and then I've lived in the city for maybe 10 years. How about yourself? Where are you based out?
So I'm from Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like basically in the middle of the ocean, the Caribbean Ocean. Yeah, so basically just like a little tsunami can basically fuck up my whole country.
It's nice though, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's super nice. Like whenever you come, just tell me. A lot of I've seen a lot of uh rock and metal dudes like come here, like just vacation and shit. It's super dope.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Shiprocked or whatever.
Oh yeah, too.
I
That
don't
that
know if
too.
that stops there.
Yeah, I saw that. So Philly, but do you move between states? Like, where's the band? Like ERRA? Like,
Yeah, ERRA is based out of Pennsylvania now, basically, because so Al, the drummer, is from Birmingham, and Jesse is from Birmingham, Alabama. Jesse now lives in Los Angeles. Al
okay,
Al moved up to Lancaster, which is like maybe an hour
yeah.
or two from here. Connor lives near there. JT lives in Baltimore, which is probably only like an hour and a half. So
Oh damn.
the four of us are within an hour and a half of each other, and then Jesse's in LA, so he'll just fly in for whatever. We'll fly to him.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Still cool though. Like you can do that. Your band can do that. It's really good. Like whenever you want to do, when you really want to do something, like you just go for it. It's really cool. So how is it over there, like in Philly? I have no clue.
It's I would describe it as like if you ever go to New York, like, and you go to like Brooklyn or something,
Okay.
that's probably like what most of Philly is like. I mean, just kind of like a neighborhood of New York. There's a lot of
Yeah.
good food, a lot of good areas, and some really bad areas as well. But
Okay.
like any city,
Yeah.
but yeah, I love Philly. It's awesome. Definitely a
Oh,
little
that's
cheaper than New York and just a little less extreme, but I would say kind of similar.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Yeah, I've heard like the food. It's really good from there. There's like a type of sandwich. I'm not sure. Like,
Oh yeah, the cheesesteak is like the
yeah,
famous one,
yeah,
and it is very good.
yeah. My
I'm a
friend.
fan.
Yeah, that's that. I have my friend of mine, like Nelson. If you're watching this, like he went there and he just told me, bro, like it's the best thing you ever gonna try. So it's super cool. Um. So yeah, talking about like your background and all that. But how do you meet like music or video? Like, was it something like since kid, or
Like, what did I start with or whatever?
yeah, like what actually got you like, oh, okay, I really want to do this.
Um, I would say around like 13 maybe years old, I started playing guitar because there's this like music school called School of Rock near me, where
Oh
they have
yeah,
like
I know.
guitar lessons and like little shows. And one of my good friends played guitar and did like shows there, and I went to see him play like it was like a Van Halen like show where they had played Van Halen songs, and I was like,
Okay.
this is sick. And so I got to do lessons there for maybe like less than a year, but there was a really good teacher there, great guitar teacher. And so yeah, once that was kind of the only lessons I got. That and then another guy for maybe a few months, and between those, I was kind of good technique wise for a while and just practiced a lot. And then yeah, so I guess just the short answer would be guitar came first. Then I started messing with like audio production or whatever, like writing music in
Yeah.
the computer, and then I would say photography came next, then video, then like animation or 3D
Oh, damn.
stuff is pretty like recent for me the last few years, and then it's just always shifting. Like I can't decide what I want to do.
Okay.
They're all very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now, like, I guess ever since the pandemic, like, lifted or touring started, and me joining ERRA around that time, it's just been way more touring than working at home,
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that.
which, like, during the pandemic, I was just, like, doing video constantly. That was, like, all I was doing. So,
Yeah. I was watching all that. Like when you joined Era, I was like, oh shit, like finally, like they got him, you know? They got him because yeah, dude, like you're the whole package. Like I was just that I saw that first Polyphia video, but then I saw like the Asali dying. That's one of my favorite videos, like
you.
ever. Like I love that video. Like especially that frame you have with your hand is like unfocused.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's like a Sigma 50 to 100 lens.
Okay.
They have this like art series or whatever, I think it's called, but it's like 1.8 aperture, like 1.4. It's like real low, so you can get like a crazy like depth of field from it.
Yeah, that has
Um,
a name like how is it called? That type of effect. It's really famous. I don't remember.
or like, yeah, I guess there's kind of like a focus pulling effect because
Yeah,
it's just such like a narrow like frame with my hand moving back and forth and the camera's trying to focus. But yeah, I love that lens. It looks awesome.
yeah, it looks awesome, man. That's really dope. I actually start to follow you more because of your videos than music. Of course, like I'm a metal dude too, but I was like, I wanted to start doing this stuff, like start to record myself too. So yeah, it's great to have like guys like you that you're like, oh, like I can do that. It takes a lot of hard work, but yeah,
Yeah, it's interesting. I wouldn't say that video is like easy, but it definitely felt easier to me than say like mixing. Like I don't know if you like
yeah,
record it or like you write a song and then you try to like mix it, make it sound good. I feel like that's pretty hard, pretty tough. Or even guitar playing. I mean, I'm lucky because I started when I was 13. I had like so much time, like I
yeah,
just,
for sure.
that's all I did. So it was easy or it didn't feel as painful to get through like those early stages whereas now when I try and learn a new technique, I'm just like, ugh, you know.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Also, I wanted to ask you, like, do you have any music theory knowledge or anything? Because I've seen those slick videos and I guess tales and shit, and I'm like, does he knows or
I wouldn't say I've too much theory knowledge, but like I did learn the modes
Yeah.
on the fretboard. Just to I feel like there's a period where I was trying to like get better at like doing like improv
Yeah.
playing, like just soloing over stuff. So I was like, I'll learn these scales, and it does help a bit. But that's pretty much all I know. I know pretty basic music theory. Kind of want to get back into it though
Yeah.
for help with songwriting.
For sure, man.
Mainly chords, I would say. That's the hardest.
Yeah. Go for it, dude. Like I'm starting studying music myself. So yeah, it does help. Um, to have that kind of knowledge, and I believe a lot of producers out there and musicians like just use it to their advantage. Just like you that like videos, like that's super cool. I'd never play. I'm not a lead player, would you say, or you know,
Mm-hmm.
but it's really cool, to have that available to you just for songwriting, all that. That's really cool. Um, so how do you get like interested like in like metal music, and like what drew you to that genre? And
It's pretty funny, like progression, I guess, if I think about it. It was just like classic rock basically was what my parents listened to. So there was always like AC/DC on or whatever. And then I guess like the Metallica Black album came out like some point when I was younger, and I just remember getting it and being like, "Oh, this is heavy. Like I like this." And then I got into a really big like Metallica like or classic metal phase. Kind of went along with guitar, like learning guitar and listening to like Megadeth, Marty Friedman, or
yeah.
just people that were really good. So like listening to a lot of like classic metal or even like hair metal too, but
Oh, okay.
just I guess only for the solos. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would guess the first like metalcore records that I got into, I'd say would be like All That Remains, Fall of Ideals. I just remember like thinking that was really sick. Um, like the mix of the cleans and the riffs and screams and solos and
Yeah.
whatnot. And then August Burns Red, Messengers. Remember thinking that was pretty sick. And
Yeah.
what else? It was an early one. I don't know. There's probably a few around that time, or maybe like Arch Enemy. I was really into Arch Enemy too.
Oh,
I
really?
don't even remember how I discovered these bands. I think I had like one friend who was like a real like music nerd guy, like deep dive would just
Yeah.
find stuff on like the internet, and he was showing me like Veil Maya and Born of Osiris. But
Oh,
this was back in like I want to say this was like 2008 or 9 maybe. So that it was like when that stuff was just starting to come out, and
okay.
so I liked all that a lot, and I kind of always just listened to like I guess you'd call it like alternative music, just like Warped Tour kind of
Yeah.
stuff, whether it's like pop punk or like metalcore or whatever. That's kind of what I've listened to for most of my life. But then recently I've been more into like electronic music, I would say.
Oh, me
Maybe the
too, bro.
last 3-4 years, probably
Same.
just been more into that.
Same. Yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, I think it's really cool because yeah, I started actually with metalcore too, and it's crazy for me to see like bands that I've always listened to, like it's the same August Burns Red, Motionless in White, and bands like that, and to see you working with them, it's like holy
Yeah,
shit.
it's crazy for me too. Um, I think so. Speaking of August Burns Red, that's basically how I got the ERRA gig. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah, they were kind of a big band for me in that way because I started doing video work for myself, like I was talking about, just guitar promotion videos basically, and I would say that I did some like work for local bands as well, but I would say they were the first bigger band or actual band I did work for. I did like a Zelda guitar playthrough for
Oh yeah, I
Justin,
know it.
and then I started doing more videos for them. But yeah, just because they're from Lancaster, which is maybe an hour from here, and I worked with the guys that record them, Grant and Carson.
Yeah,
I like interned for them and then played in their Star Wars band, Galactic Empire.
yeah,
And so I was kind of friends with them and started working for August Burns Red. And then they were on tour with ERRA when Sean was thinking about leaving. And Ray, the photographer for August Burns Red, texted me and said, like, hey, you know the band ERRA, would you want to play for them? And I was like, yeah. And
that's great.
yes. So that's pretty much how that happened. But yeah, like you're saying, it's cool to work with these bands that I started listening to. August Burns Red being like the first one, and then that led to like I'm kind of forgetting names, but like Motionless in White, I did some work for them, or other bands like that level. It was cool to do that. Still is when I get an offer to do some video work or something for a band I haven't worked for yet that I was a fan of or whatever. I'm still like,
Yeah, yeah, man. Since when I saw that, I started to see your growth and working for all these bands. I was like, man, I don't know. I just gotta talk to him. Like, I used to like message you like asking stuff, or really don't remember right now. But I was at a point I was like, no, I gotta invite him to the podcast because I believe that's a ton of value. I mean, the path that you took for, let's talk about like Galactic Empire. Was that your very first band, or
no, I had like a local band that me and my friends in like high school had, and we would play shows, like really small shows locally. And then I joined like I guess band that actually toured. There's like slightly bigger local band
okay,
it was like a pop punk band. And then I would say that, I mean, I did a lot of touring with that band, but I would say Galactic was the first like proper touring band.
yeah,
And yeah, I forget how many years I played for them, maybe like a few years. And we did some really cool shows. It was awesome.
that's awesome, dude. Like, they're like a instrumental band, right?
Yeah. And yeah, it was 3 guitar players, including me, bass and drums. And
Yeah,
yeah, the other guitar player, like all of them are good friends of mine, and they're all very good. So it was fun to just lock in with them and play those tracks. I was playing the rhythm parts, but
yeah,
we all kind of had like a mix of lead
yeah.
rhythm in our parts. But yeah, it was super fun. Except for wearing the costumes.
I was going to ask you that. Like, what about
Yeah.
those costumes? That's crazy. Yeah, so
Yeah. In particular, I was like wearing the Imperial Guard costume, and it was like so narrow that like you can only see like one with one eye, and it just made it really difficult. And it would fog up a lot too. But
what?
yeah, so I would just be like basically playing with my eyes closed.
Yeah,
Or like if we did like meet and greet, I would be like, I can't even tell how far this
yeah.
person is from me. I couldn't even see anything.
Oh,
Fun
God,
times. Yep.
that's crazy. I enjoy watching you play. Like, I can tell it's really like your style. It's really, let's say, inside of your bubble. Let's say, like you really play a big role, and I really enjoy watching. Also, like I saw you did the last album artwork, which is
Yes.
pretty cool. I remember I remember I asked you like, does he have to do anything with Spider-Man or something like that? Because the dude,
Oh yeah.
is it like the design? It has like a person.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, like it's so interesting with album art. Like I wouldn't say, I'm just always trying to make stuff that looks cool, and the guidelines are very like vague. It's just like, yeah, I think we want it to be like black and white, and we want it to be very nihilistic and like
Yeah.
kind of just have like, it's sort of like you listen to the album and you can interpret
Yeah.
a certain vibe. So I was just, whatever that is, me just being like, hey, I want to make it feel like this album, and have that kind of like bleak
Yeah.
feeling. But then a lot of it is just it's just like, oh, that looks cool, whatever I just did, and let's try that. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's as simple as that. And it's fun to watch people like then look at it and like make these like crazy, like interpretations from it. And I'm like, oh, I never would have thought of that, but that's cool.
Yeah. For sure, man.
I'm glad that it's I guess that's like the goal, is to make something that can be interpreted and isn't just like uh on the nose, or like
Yeah.
if it evokes any kind of conversation, I guess it's good.
Of course, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's the fun part about music and art in general. Like the interpretation you get from it. It That's the cool thing about it. I remember now that you say that you were talking about the album and the concepts that you guys had like for the album. It's really cool to see um that type of a style being implemented. I'm not really familiar with like industrial or like, let's say, that type of style. I don't even know like how to put your guys. I don't like to put bands like in a box, but I guess yeah, there's some.
No, for sure. I mean, a lot of that is just like Dan Bronstein, who produced the record.
Yeah.
He's very much like in tune with like modern production styles, like, and like synth and percussion work, I guess, is
Yeah.
what that comes down to. But I think there's a lot of metalcore bands being influenced by like maybe what you'd say is industrial bands. Like there's one band in particular I think of called Health, which is a really cool band. And I know that like, Bad Omens
Yeah.
is like influenced by them, and you can just hear it once you listen to that band Health,
Yeah.
which has been around for a while. You can hear like, okay, these people are drawing from it. Or like that new Silent Planet
Oh yeah.
single, Antimatter, I think.
Yeah.
That one has like a similar vibe of like that genre. And I just think it's sick that metalcore is like drawing so much from more electronic or
Yeah.
industrial styles. Like I feel like Northlane does that a lot too.
Yeah.
And it's just very fresh sound.
Yeah. Really cool, bro.
But also like it's also kind of like Linkin Park ish too. So
Yeah. I get that.
it's nostalgic too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Bands are bringing that nostalgia back, I guess. Like it's really cool to see it again. And you know, also I really enjoy like your playing when it comes to those type of styles. That I don't know how much you put into work in the album, but I know that you've been playing these new guitars, and it's really dope. Like, dude, also like talk about Jackson. I believe that's the only. I believe Charvel and Jackson, right, are like the brands that you use the most.
Yeah. So Charvel and Jackson and
Yeah.
some other companies are like all under Fender. So
All
I
right.
get to like, I guess, use both, but Jackson being the main at this point, because I'm using their they have a lot more 7 strings,
Yeah.
which is perfect for ERRA. So yeah, I'm stoked. I just got a new one yesterday.
Yeah. So I saw your story. Let me see it. Oh, that's sick, bro.
Yeah, it's been a nice
Sick.
sparkle.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. Really cool, bro.
But yeah, those are awesome. Using the Evertunes recently,
Yeah.
that's helpful. And then yeah, basically that stuff, and Quad Cortex, and that's all we do for live. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's really really smooth, man. Like I just love to see it. Um, Also your work with Jackson, man. I mean, what can I tell? Like, how is it like working for Jackson and Misha and Marty Friedman?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It
It was
was
like a crazy. That was like one of those, even more so than like working with like August Burns Red or something like similar, where you're like, oh, we're like, this is cool. Like in that scenario, I was like, what am I doing here? But like, it was cool to get. I got the email about like potentially doing a solo for it, and
yeah,
I was on tour at the time, and it was like really inconvenient because I didn't have my guitars, and I was trying to like find a guitar to like
all right,
record the solo and send it by the deadline, and I managed to do that. And um, filming was awesome. Like Misha and Marty and Dave Davidson and Debbie Guff.
yeah,
Um, they're all great, and we got to like hang out a bit, thankfully. And yeah, that it's just it was kind of just a crazy experience to I guess especially to be like hanging out with like Marty Freeman, because I mentioned like that was kind of like an early influence
yeah,
for me for lead playing. Um, like him, Dimebag.
yeah,
Um, I would say those are like the two mains on as far as like trying to emulate the lead playing. So
yeah.
I mean, crazy, and he's also like really chill and the coolest guy. So you never know what it's gonna be like when you meet someone that you've like looked up to or whatever. You don't know if they're gonna be an asshole, and then so I'm never surprised if that happens, but I'm more surprised if people are really cool, and he was, so it was sick.
That's dope, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
and
man,
hopefully I can continue to do more collabs with them, because it's always just one of those crazy moments.
for sure. Yeah, man. Actually, I believe my favorite solo was yours. Like really dynamic, I would say. Like really tasteful. I don't even know like how to describe. I remember very well. Like it was really cool. Watching you play with Misha again and Marty and all that. It's really cool. Also, I saw you all guys had like the boots, like
Yeah,
the I guess Dr. Martens or whatever.
yeah, it's kind of funny how like there were so many comments about that, and I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. It's like pretty glare. It's so obvious that we're all wearing them, but yeah, they had wardrobe for us, like a wardrobe person, like helping us with our outfits or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, Stuff picked out. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then, yeah, they had those boots for everyone to wear. So I was like, hey, they look cool. I'll wear them.
yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I wonder if they were sponsored. I can't confirm, but we all did wear them. So
yeah, I hope
yeah,
that would be really cool to see. Yeah, man, it's crazy watching brands like that really finally making the steps like that.
yeah, I'm very
Collaborating.
excited about like how, because I always liked Jackson for like their legacy, I would say, like the older, like I guess it was just always kind of like the shred
Yeah,
guitar, or like the extreme metal guitar, pointy, um crazy guitars. And I definitely like Jackson for that, but I'm also stoked that they're kind of like in tune with like the modern metal stuff, and
yeah.
they sign a bunch of cool artists like Sleep Token, Spirit Box,
Oh yeah,
um a lot. There's so many, and I think the team there is just killing it with that, and the
yeah.
guitars.
They're
So it's
killing
cool to
it.
be a part of that. Yeah.
So cool, man. So yeah, so talking about gear, man. Uh, I believe you also have you did this cat video or IR, I
Yeah.
believe, like the dark room is it called?
Yes. So that was like I was like, oh, I guess I need like a company to release this under or whatever. So I just made the website, and it was really fun to, integrate the visuals into the website and whatnot. Like I'm still really stoked on how the website looks and the video and everything looks. And yeah, those cabs were just like, IRs that, I
Yeah.
captured with, Carson Slowback, who is from Atrium Audio. The guy,
Yeah.
he was in Galactic and whatnot, records a lot of metal bands. And yeah, they have a really sick like Mesa 4x12 cab that just sounds sick, and
Yeah, man.
did a bunch of captures of that. And so that's what I used. And I was pretty stoked on how it came out. Yeah, and I used them in some of the ERRA tones.
Oh, really?
I'm always changing it around. Yeah, but um, yeah, it was fun. And it was fun to make that track too. I basically just like ripped off the Black Dahlia murder, or at least that
Yeah,
was what
I can tell.
I was like. I was like, oh, I really want this to be like to sound like old, because I was really into Black Dahlia murder like way back.
Yeah.
With that one album, I forget what it was called. And then I'm still really into them because Brandon Ellis is like amazing, probably
Oh,
one of my favorite guitarists.
that's great.
So yeah, that was basically, I was like, well, if I'm gonna make a track for this and it's gonna be like kind of cool guitar track, then it's gonna be, I'm feeling that. So yeah, it was
That's
fun.
dope. That's so cool, man. I love their that guitar tone you did, and I mean Atrium. I mean Carson is it called?
Yes, Carson.
Yeah. So he. So I love the guitar tones from Atrium Audio. Like I believe they're one of my favorites. With that self-titled album from ERRA,
Oh yeah.
it's one of my favorite albums ever. I mean, it's actually over there. You cannot see it because it's really dark and it's like a all black album. So, but yeah, it's like the top one, and I love ERRA. Like since they released that, I've heard them before, but when they released that, uh, I believe it was 2020 or 2021. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
something. Yeah, 2020 maybe.
Um, yeah, that changed it all for me. My favorite song from that album will be Shadow Autonomous. I believe it's called.
Nice. Yeah.
I just love that harmony, melody, JT, whatever they did right there. Just really, really fucking cool.
Yeah, yeah. So that album came out before I was even like talking to those guys.
Yeah,
And I think I kind of, well, I remember listening to it because I liked like Augment and their old music, and then
yeah.
I guess I just didn't like listen to Drift when it came out, or Neon. I definitely listened to because Taylor Larson mixed it, and I was a
Oh,
fan of his work, even though like a lot of people shit on that album for having like a bad mix. Which I agree, it's not his best work, but I still like that album.
yeah.
And then yeah, self-titled, I was like, okay, this is like probably the best Air album. And I think Shadow Autonomous was my favorite initially when I listened to it. And yeah, I like you were saying about the vocals. That's one thing. Like, so Grant and Carson are like a tag team producer, partner,
Yeah.
whatever. And Grant does all the vocals, and he's
Okay.
like one of those like perfect pitch, like
Oh,
savant kind of guys that like just knows exactly what harmonies to do. And
really?
yeah,
Okay.
so when you listen to songs like Vanished Canvas or something,
Yeah.
um you can just tell there's like so much like harmony going on.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. That's something I love about that album. Yeah.
Goddamn, dude.
Yeah, he's
Love.
a boss with that stuff.
Yeah, man. I would love to work with him at some point in my life. I just really, really, really love Atrium Audio, and yeah, I'm sending them love if they ever watch this video or listen to this podcast.
Yeah,
Uh,
there you go.
so yeah. So what would you say is your favorite amp at the moment?
Favorite what?
Favorite amp?
Favorite amp? I have a Friedman like B50 here, which is like I love to play through that, and like I have a Mesa 4x12, and that or like any like 5150, like 6505 kind of amp. I would
Yeah,
say those are my favorites to like actually play through. But really, I don't play like we don't use real amps live at all, or
yeah,
even when I'm recording, I don't usually use real amps.
yeah.
So I probably use like the STL Tone Hub.
Oh yeah,
Grant and Carson's
stream.
packs have
Yeah,
like well, like for live it's easy because they have the ERRA tones on there, so I could just like profile those on the or capture them on the quad cortex. Or I also enjoy the neural DSP Gojira.
oh that's
Is
dope.
sick. I think that's probably like a whatever the amp I use is probably a 5150 based one. And then yeah, the Plenty plugin as well is awesome for like cleans and
Yeah,
leads. So I would say yeah, between like the STL Tone Hub, some of those presets, or yeah, like Grant Carson's first pack has a really good diesel rhythm
yeah.
tone, and I want to say that's like what the self-titled tone was. It was basically like that Tone Hub preset of a diesel amp, and yeah, so that's a go-to for me, or the neural DSP like Gojira or Plenty. So yeah, I'm very much anticipating when they add those to the quad cortex. They're
Oh
supposed to do
yeah,
that like whatever in the next few months, hopefully.
yeah,
And it's gonna be those two amps, which is perfect because like that's all I need.
yeah. I love the tone from Diesel too. It's really fucking cool. So yeah, man. So I know you're like really um you're really into, we'll say, filmmaking or videography, and I want to say filmmaking because your videos look like a movie, bro. Like I just gotta say it right after. So what actually sparked like your interest for like VFX, visual effects, and 3D animation and all that? I'm not really good with the terms. Like I'm not
Yeah.
motion designer. Is it the right term?
Yeah, no. They're all like I guess they're doing their own thing that you could like spend forever like trying to master, and I just have
Yeah,
like a little time spent in each one. But yeah, I guess when I first got my first camera, and there was a lot of like YouTubers that were uh I guess trying to make like cool like cinematic edits. That was like
yeah,
the thing. I remember it was like guys like I'm trying to remember them, but like Peter McKinnon was a big
yeah.
one. Um and so I just watched those channels, and it was like, oh, if you do this, it looks more cinematic or whatever. And
Yeah.
so I was doing all these things, and I just remember being like pretty stoked at like how like quote easy it was to make stuff look like, more like a movie or whatever, big budget, but just on like a little camera. And I guess that's kind of always what I've preferred. I preferred like the cinematic look. So that's always what I'm going for. And like even in now like when I do like 3D stuff, it's pretty much like a virtual camera, and you can
Oh, really?
do all the if you think about it, it's like a scene, and
All
you got
right.
your object or whatever in your virtual camera, and then you can change all the settings on the camera, so you could be like, I want this to be 50 millimeter or
Oh,
whatever. So it's pretty sweet that you can do all that stuff and see how it turns out. Like in real life, I would like to have like anamorphic lenses, which are really expensive, but
yeah.
they give you that like filmic look per se. And in the program, you can just kind of like enter in like those values, like to make it look more like that. So that's nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What programs are you using like lately?
So I use Cinema 4D, which is basically like Blender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just like a 3D program for general 3D work, I guess. And then I use like this renderer called Octane, which I don't really even know how to explain like what a renderer is, but it just it's like a plugin for C4D, and
Oh, okay.
you can also use it in Blender as well. And it pretty much just makes it look way better. Like if I rendered it in C4D, it might look like PlayStation 2 graphics or something, but in Octane, it just seems to look way better. And there's a lot of ones like competitors to Octane as well that look good. And yeah, that was another thing, just like with buying the camera,
Yeah.
where I was surprised at, I was like, oh, I thought it was like really hard to like make stuff look good, but it actually isn't super difficult. It wasn't as hard as I thought, but I took like a really good course on like how to start doing 3D, so that helped it be less painful for me.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
I would love to, if you can ever send it to me. Like I would love to get into it. I would really like 3D stuff. I would like to get into it for my work. You know.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the course I took was by this guy David Ariev, who's insane 3D artist, and the whole course is Cinema 4D Octane, but I feel like it's more of like an Octane course. So you could do it with Blender. See, Cinema 4D is like pretty expensive.
Okay.
I want to say it's like $1,000 a year subscription.
Oh, damn.
So it's kind of hard to just like pay that if you're test driving it. But
yeah.
yeah, it's like Blender's free and kind of the same thing. I just haven't gotten around to trying to learn it and save money. But yeah, it's awesome, man. And then I guess if you have ever used like After Effects, that can kind of help as far as animating stuff in 3D. It's pretty similar. And same with Premiere too. You can animate stuff in Premiere. I would say After Effects is like my favorite app.
Your go-to.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super dope, man. I believe they're really how do you say really CPU heavy, like.
For sure. Yeah, I guess it's kind of, there's a lot of like barriers of entry to 3D work between the expensive software that's complicated and the computers they need or whatever to make it like not super painful. But yeah, at least computers are getting so much better so quickly that I feel like it's easier now. Or at least like when I built like an insane PC to do 3D stuff, and the graphics cards were really expensive because it was like Bitcoin mining, whatever.
Oh yeah,
pandemic, supply shortage. I don't know. It was so expensive, and then now I feel like the new MacBook Pros I think can handle 3D stuff like pretty well. So I would say it's a little easier right now to get into. Yeah,
for sure, man. That's really cool. So, what PC, Mac, whatever you're using right now?
So I'm using a Razer Blade 18 laptop, which has like a 4090, like it's pretty much like a desktop 3090 graphics card, which is what I have on my desktop PC. And I just, I just went for this laptop because I think I toured like maybe 9 or 10 months last year. So I was like on the road so much, and I was like remoting into my home PC to like render stuff. And I was like, you know what? I should just get like a beast PC or a beast laptop and just use that. So I really haven't used my PC much lately. But yeah, it was also before the new MacBooks came out, so I went with like a Windows one, which I might get a MacBook next time. I like both, but they both have their pros
and cons. Yeah, that's super dope, man. And I believe it's, I don't know how is it like you know, how challenging it is to combine aspects like live action footage and like VFX and CGI. Like what's your process? Like how do you manage to do that?
Um, yeah, I guess like I'd say VFX is probably the hardest. Like integrating like integrating any kind of like extra added thing like into your real
Yeah,
scene can be like a pain, or like integrating footage into like a CGI scene,
yeah,
just stuff like that. I feel like that stuff is probably the trickiest, but and I wouldn't even say I'm like that experienced with it. But yeah, the process would basically be like I would come up with like a shot plan, say like trying to think of an example. On my YouTube channel, I did like a how to record guitar video that I wanted to make like pretty flashy, like editing. And there was some shots where I was like, all right, I'm going to like plan this out. And it makes it so much easier if you just like plan it out, like some transitions or shots, like
yeah,
it's as easy as just knowing what you want out of it. And then the rest is like, uh, maybe like masking stuff,
for sure.
or messing with like the lightness or the saturation of things that you add in to like try and make them look like they're in the scene, or like maybe
Oh,
adding glow to them, or like I forget. I'm rusty on this stuff now, but there's like a trick you can do to it's called like a edge mat maybe, to make stuff look more integrated into your scenes. There's a lot of like
oh,
VFX. It's like a whole discipline,
yeah,
VFX, and there's a lot of tricks to integrate things into your scenes. I would say that's the hardest thing, but generally, I don't even do that much stuff like that anymore. I would say my process for videos I do now is pretty much like editing footage in Premiere, and then and that might include like shots that I rendered from a 3D program or something. So I would call that footage, and then so that's all edited with the audio
yeah,
in Premiere because it's real time and it's quick, and I can like edit to the music well
yeah.
in there, and then I put that in After Effects, which is like a slow preview. It's like a RAM preview. I don't know
Oh,
if you've used it. It's not as like instantaneous as Premiere. So
yeah,
that's why I try and do the bulk in Premiere, and then After Effects is kind of where it like starts to actually look how I want it, with the different like animations, stabilizing footage or color grading it, or adding some kind of like filter to it, or maybe there's like speed ramps with the timer mapping. I do all that stuff in
yeah.
After Effects rather than Premiere. But yeah, I mean, there's really no like, it's all just trial and error. There's a lot of people I know that use Final Cut Pro for editing, and it's supposedly
Yeah.
very good and quick and good for like, show recaps or stuff where there's a lot of like speed ramps and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting, man.
Yeah.
Really interesting. Um, so I, I was just asking myself now, like, how do you find balance and find inspiration, like across all those various creative outlets? Like music, filmmaking. Like, how do you manage to?
Yeah, I would say it's like a mix of like, I would say it's like kind of almost cycles where I'll just get like, right now I'm really into like, I started using Ableton for my DAW
Yeah,
instead of Logic, which I had used previously. And
same.
yeah, I'm really getting into like back into like songwriting and music production, and like trying to make the mixes better.
Yeah,
So that's kind of my current cycle, I would say. Whereas then there will be a time when I'm like just doing video stuff, or it just seems to be like there's always one that's like top, and
Yeah,
then the other ones stay like somewhat active. But yeah, it's hard to I would say balance it. It kind of has to be like whatever's demanding my time or
of course. Yeah,
whatever I'm most stoked on. So right now, like touring is demanding the most time, and like tour prep, like learning all the songs or doing all the playback session stuff or all the
yeah,
things that come with that.
yeah. I can imagine, man. It's really hard. I can imagine for you. Like, I don't know. I don't even know like how you manage to do all those things. Just like how do you do that? Like tour, uh, work, video related stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say it's hard, but it's also like really fun. It's all stuff that I
Oh
love
yeah,
to do. So
for sure.
even though it's like there's annoying, like frustrating times for all of them, like it's
Yeah,
still like so much better than whatever job I used to work. So
yeah,
yeah, it's just it's really fun. As far as like, I wouldn't say I have my time management down at all. It's more just like there's deadlines eventually that I have to
yeah. Of
meet,
course.
and until then, I'll just like procrastinate with whatever I'm most excited about doing.
Yeah,
That's probably what it is. Although, like, it's good to sometimes I'll get home from tour and I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna set out my goals of what I want to do or whatever.
yeah.
See how long that lasts. But yeah, I would say that's the main drawback to touring is it makes it hard to be consistent in certain
Yeah.
areas, like working out or like I don't know, just any project that takes a like consistent effort. It can be more difficult than when you're at home every day and
Yeah,
there's less distractions.
of course.
Yeah. So, but there's a lot of upsides to touring as well. I always am excited to go back out on tour.
Yeah, of course, man. Like I can imagine, like just like that type of work you do. It's really demanding, and yeah, you're like in a really I would say maybe uh alone. You're like in this solitude time where you have to do all this work, and yeah, of course, touring and being in the band. I guess that's where you find that type of violence, right?
Yeah.
Super dope.
It's, I guess, yeah, for me, like I get very easily distracted. Or like, I would say I do like my best work, like if I'm at home, just with a lot of time, no distractions to work. So that's kind of the hard part, I guess, about touring. But also, I mean, it's great to meet so many people. I don't know if you can hear my
Yeah, I
cat's
can hear
upset
it.
now.
You're
Yeah,
a cat person too.
yeah. Me and my girlfriend have two cats, so the middle
Same.
one likes he's very vocal. Wants to get in
That's
the
a,
stream.
that's really cute. Um,
Yeah.
so I would like to know, like, what are your favorite films or videos that you've worked in, and why?
Like favorite videos I've made.
Yeah,
Um, I would say I really like this one I did for August Burns Red.
Oh,
It was like a promo for their live stream. And I think it was like the first time I tried to incorporate like 3D shots
okay.
into the like a video edit, and I just got lucky. It worked out really well. And I was at their live stream, like trying to figure out what I was gonna shoot, or what would look good. And then
Yeah,
I just like had this like moment where I was like, oh, I should do like, I don't know why, and this is hilarious that it came to my mind, but like if you've ever seen like the Fast and Furious movies where they have those cut scenes where it like goes through like the engine or whatever, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's the nitrous one. I was like,
yeah,
I should do something like that. That would be fun. So I
yeah.
just like followed this someone's calling. I just followed I was like, all right, I can start with these like CO2 tanks, because I think the big thing with their live stream was that they were having pyro, so they
Yeah.
just,
Go do what she needs.
let it.
At the moment.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Anyway, so I was just like, oh, this will work for like highlighting the pyro, and yeah, I just tried to do a bunch of like cuts that like flowed together like that, and it worked out pretty good. And yeah, that's kind of like a thing where if I didn't like roughly plan it out when I shot it, it would probably be like impossible
Yeah.
or like a lot of work. So
Yeah, I bet.
yeah. So some of the edits I do or whatever like hold up where I look back and I'm like, yeah, that looked pretty good.
That's
And other
cool.
ones I'm like, yeah.
But how is it your shooting process? Like what do you do?
I guess it's always different. Uh the with the camera I use for that, it has really good like stabilization
Yeah.
in the thing. So in the camera. So like that kind of helps with getting those like, swoopy shots where I'm like following down along like a hose or whatever.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's hard because you have to get like a gimbal or something to like
Yeah.
not make it like super shaky. So that's definitely like a huge hack if you like want to make videos like that, is getting like, it's a Panasonic GH5 is what I used.
Yeah.
Panasonic's IBIS is really good, but their autofocus sucks, so that's the downside.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Which I guess if we're talking cameras, I feel like the A7S III is kind of like the goated camera still.
Oh yeah.
It has everything. But yeah, I don't know. Process wise, I guess I'm just kind of like uh trying to pull any kind of inspiration, which I would say usually comes from audio.
Oh
Especially when like video editing, um
yeah.
like I'll do an edit, I'll make the audio first, and
Yeah.
I'll, you know, have it set up so that it's like a loop, and I'll just be like, all
Oh,
right, this is gonna
okay.
be like the Instagram loop, and I'll like have transitions in there or whatever, and I
Oh
hear the transition, I'm like, all right, this, you know. So usually I only know like a few shots, maybe like where
yeah.
I'll be like, okay, when this like music slows down and swoops into this, like I want to do like a hyperlapse down the
Yeah.
crowd or whatever. Um, so besides that stuff, I don't usually know what I'm like going after. It's always better if you can know like
Yeah.
what you want. But yeah, I guess if you're just like shooting in like a similar like camera shake, then it
Yeah.
edits together easy enough. So it's kind of forgiving in that way. But yeah, I'd say that's another like, I don't know, just finding stuff that you like. I want to say like I was pretty inspired by like this guy Gibson Hazard. He was doing like crazy recap edits, and
Oh
now he's like a huge director, and he got really famous. But he was just doing crazy like video recaps for like different rappers and big artists. And there's also this guy, I forget what his name is, YouTuber. It's like he did like a bunch of like just crazy like travel edit videos. Like
okay.
his biggest one I want to say was like in London. Um,
It's not
yeah. So
it's like Nick.
no,
Remember
I
the
can
name.
look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the looking like frame by frame through those guys' videos,
Yeah.
that's a way to like see kind of what's happening, because when the edit's like going in front of you like super fast,
Yeah.
it's kind of like there's almost this weird like effect where it just yeah, start. Oh, I found it. Nice. JR Alley is the guy.
JRR. Okay.
that I was stoked on. He was doing these crazy edits. Um, but yeah, that's kind of like a phenomenon I think I've noticed where when you like put a bunch of things like fast edited together, it kind of like just gives like a certain it's like your brain can't comprehend it enough,
Yeah.
and it's like an easy way to like uh whatever transition shots or like make something feel exciting. So when you really slow it down frame by frame, then you're like, oh, this isn't like that insane. It's just like these things fall together really quick and like
Yeah.
in a way that's like seamless enough that it's not too jarring. Because if you do something like real quick at it, but it's like not
Yeah.
smooth, then it's just like, oh, like this, it's
It's
just
tough.
too much.
Yeah.
So it's a weird balance. But one thing I took away, I'm rambling, this is where I was getting to, is that
Yeah.
hyperlapses are sick.
They are. Yeah.
And that's basically when you take like a picture and then you take a step and you take a picture and you just keep like a point on your camera like in the same spot, and then you can um add that you can like they're all together and they're stabilized, and you can add motion
Yeah.
blur, and it has this really cool effect where it's like a time lapse but you're like swooping. So I
Yeah.
would say like stuff like that or the 3D renders are kind of like what I would lean on heavily for making my videos look like cool or
Cinematic.
yeah, better than average, or like it's just that, and like maybe overlays or something that come up real fast or something. I wouldn't say it's anything complicated, but there's just
Yeah.
a few things I've picked up where I'm like, all right, this looks cool.
That's it. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
super dope, man. I love to you talking about all of this stuff. Like, I wish I got started like you. Like long before, because yeah, man, it's so much. I believe it's really technical, right? Like, there's a lot of it. Like,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess I would just counter that with like you were talking about like the Polyphia video I made. I mean,
Yeah.
I had probably only been doing video for like, let me look up when that was. I want to say it was probably only a few months.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like I don't think it doesn't have to take a really long time. Yeah,
Oh,
I want to say I was only like doing video for a few months
yeah.
when I did that. Not like it's anything insane, but at the time I was stoked on it.
Oh, man. And I would like to ask you, like, for people like me, or people that really would like to get into this type of things, like what advice would you give to those people, like, to get started in, like, videos, uh virtual VFX, all that things that could seem a little bit, let's say, intimidating, or
Yeah, for sure. I would try not to focus too hard on the gear. That would be like, I feel like that's a common thing that like I've done and people do.
yeah.
Because I mean, that GH5 I was using is like such an old camera, and like I could still use it. Like I've had to still use it before, and it's fine. And like stuff is so good these days when it comes to
Yeah.
video or in the computer audio. The other tip I would say would be, I'd say it's best if you know what you like, and then maybe you find an artist or someone that's doing what you like, and you can somehow figure out how they're doing it, or like they have like a course or something. I would
Yeah.
say that's like, I think courses are great as long as you apply what you learn, which I'm like also talking to myself because I've done
Yeah.
so many courses where I just like watched all of it and then I didn't actually like
Yeah.
do any like homework or anything. Whereas
I
like
get
that 3D course I did, it was way more like structured, and I had to do homework each week or whatever. So it kind of forced me to actually learn. And yeah, I would say that was like a huge hack in like picking up that's like what is like probably a harder skill than video. editing or whatever. So yeah, I would say if you can find a course that
Yeah.
would you see the result and you're like, okay, that's what I want to do. That's ideal. But yeah, I mean, like YouTube as well. Like I guess like another big tip would be not so like say you get like a new application like whatever Ableton or something,
Yeah.
like looking at the manual and just being like, all right, I'm gonna like learn everything about Ableton. I would basically say do the opposite of that. It's basically like only learn what you need in
What you
that
need.
very
Yeah.
moment.
Like what this button does. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I operate because and like I feel like a fraud because of that like a lot of times because I'll be like whatever, I'll do this thing in 3D or something and everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is amazing, or like maybe some 3D artist says it's good and I'm like, I literally just looked up like a tutorial how to like do these few things and I know like 1% of this 3D program, like
Yeah.
if even. So it's a silly feeling, but like I think that's kind of the quickest way to get results out of like new things you're trying to learn. It's just kind of like keeping your eye on the art that like the end result that you want and only learning what you need to get there. And
Yeah.
of course you can fill in the gaps like when you have more time or something. I think that's good. I tend to do that and then you're like, oh, I've been doing this like really inefficiently for this whole time. So it's nice to fill in those gaps of your
For
knowledge.
sure.
But I guess the last tip I would say is just kind of like just taking on stuff that you're not comfortable with. There's been a lot of
Cool.
times where I got pitched like a video project for something where they'd say like, hey, can you do this? And it's like, yeah, I've never done that before. And I just say like, yeah, I do that. Like basically lie, but you just say, I obviously think I could do it. I just haven't done it.
Just like a challenge.
Yeah, and you know it's going to be painful. Like it's not just like it's so stressful, sometimes
Yeah.
because it doesn't go right and you can't figure it out and you said yes to it. But it kind of like is like a trial by fire and you end up learning a lot that way.
For sure, man.
So if you can balance that like insane, stressful, like learning style with like, not having to do that all the time, then I'd say that's great.
For sure,
Force
man.
yourself to learn.
Yeah. So
But don't burn out
I know that's
if you do it all the time. Yeah.
yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, for like know your limits. Yeah, like the both extremes are like bad.
Yeah, I guess you can feel it start to happen when you're just like not enjoying the work. Like I kind of started to feel that with my YouTube channel and then with doing video work like in COVID.
Yeah,
Just that whole period I was like just cranking out like video work and there's a point where I was I just felt like not excited to do that stuff. So that's usually when I like switch up to something else or try to
same.
steer my my career, so to speak, in a different
Yeah, I feel
direction.
you.
Yeah.
That's great, bro. So yeah, we've talked about advice projects. We have talked heavy metal too. So, um, what would you say was the most difficult project for you and why, or the most challenging, or
Like
I don't know,
video project or just like anything?
could be anything, but mostly like video project. Yeah.
I did this 3D video for Neural DSP.
All right. The quad cortex, right?
Yeah, and that was tough because I don't even remember why it was so difficult, but I mean it was all in 3D and I just remember there was a lot of like revisions, like just a lot of
Oh,
this should be this way, It just like I just remember it was like a long process.
yeah.
And because it was 3D, like it takes a while to like render that stuff and preview it and whatever. So
Yeah,
it certainly was like, I think anything 3D that's like, I would say like
time-consuming.
the longer the video is usually like, that's why I think I've gravitated towards like those little like Instagram like recaps or whatever. Cause I can just
Yeah,
go like, crazy and spend like a day or 2 day on like, a 15, 30-second clip. And like, that feels better to me because I can be like, this looks like, I can't think of any way to make this look better, or like,
yeah,
it looks great. And I'm not burnt out on it. Whereas like if you do, I've done like some visuals, like concert visuals that are all in 3D,
yeah,
where it's like a 5-minute song. And it's like, oh, this looks cool. But there's a point when I'm like, I need to start, given the deadline, like I need to start kind of like phoning some of this in. Not really, but it's like I don't have time to make it look as pristine as maybe like
yeah,
a 15-second clip. And then it's like you're not satisfied with it because it doesn't look as cool as you want it to, um, or something like that. So
yeah.
I would say it's like, the length of the project, or like, I mean, sometimes it's pretty rare, thankfully for me, but like sometimes the client is like, their revisions are just like, all right, what are you talking about? Like, they don't know what they're talking about, and
Yeah,
or there's like some like, um, stuff behind the scenes that you're not privy to, like between the band members, or like
yeah,
whatever egos. But luckily, I've barely dealt with that. So, but that can make projects way more
yeah,
difficult.
yeah. I feel you, man. Especially with that client thing with the revisions. I used to work as a graphic designer here in my city, and yeah, man, it was always that type of thing that would just kill me off. Like, why you talk about something you don't know about? Like, let the professional do the work.
Yeah, it's like a whole skill in itself. Kind of like presenting your work for approval, and like managing like that like client process, because some people do it like so effortlessly where it's just real easy, and some people let it fall off the rails. I've seen other artists like, do it really well, and I'm like, wow, because it's like a whole, you can make it really easy on yourself if you have that dialed in. And I wouldn't say that I'm the I'm great at it. I usually just like go all in on like what I think is cool, and like fingers
Yeah,
crossed, hope that they really like it. And
cool.
I'd say 9 times out of 10, it's worked. So that's good.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust your gut, I guess.
Yeah. Or you can also kind of like vibe it out with when someone's asking you to work for them. You can kind of like ask questions and try to
Yeah, for
feel out like, am I actually the right guy for this? Or,
sure.
but I guess what I try to avoid, and what I was talking about earlier with like getting burnt out, is like, you don't want to be like that artist that's like real stubborn, and like, someone gives a revision and you're just like, ah, like,
Yeah,
screw you, like you don't know anything. I'm the artist, like I'm the expert. Like I try to like, I start to feel myself getting that way when I was just like overloaded with video work, and that's why I was like, all right, I gotta take a break from this. So it's good to
yeah,
recognize the signs.
for sure, man. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, man. And also, talking about the projects, also, I would like to know, like, um, if what project like would you remake? Let's say with today's tools like AI.
I guess I don't think too much about my projects after I put them out. Um,
Oh, you like upload it and then just don't think about it.
I mean, sometimes like when I'm putting stuff together for like a reel or something, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is cool or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of something where I'm like,
Damn, that's good, bro. Like you're really proud of the work you do. It's amazing.
yeah, there might have been like a video or two where like in hindsight, like I'm like, oh, that color grade is too dark.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like I did a Ghost Inside recap, and I was like, yeah, it's a little too dark
Oh,
in
okay.
hindsight when I was looking at it. But it's not stuff that is really on my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as AI and stuff, it's very interesting like time right now. I'm starting to see like video stuff creep into like my feed, and it does kind of make me wonder like the future of all this like 3D rendering and whatnot, because for graphic designers it's already kind of like a challenge for them now, because Midjourney and whatever is so good that bands could just create an album cover and it's not as obvious anymore that it was
Yeah.
AI.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask you, talking about AI, like what's your take on that? Like, what do you think about it in terms of?
I don't think I've like researched or thought about it enough to have like a good opinion on it, but I would
Yeah.
say that it's kind of a disruptor, like anything new, where I mean this is before my time, but I just heard about like how everyone was pissed off about Photoshop coming out and being like,
Oh,
oh, this
yeah.
is cheating or whatever. Like artists at that time were annoyed about it. And I feel like it's kind of similar now, where it's just like a new tool at the end
Yeah.
of the day. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think it's that simple. Like there's a lot more elements to it.
Yeah.
But I would say that at the end of the day, like people are gonna want something they're gonna value something that's like, custom and from a human, or I like who was it? North Lane, their new album
Oh, yeah.
art. I thought it was really cool album art. And I think
Yeah.
it's also cool because I looked into it because people are like hating on it for being
Yeah.
AI, and it's actually like it's like an app that is basically like Photoshop plus AI, kind of like the generative fill, but like
Yeah.
a little more so. And I think it's cool that it's kind of like the power of the AI generative stuff, but also being driven by like it's not just a text prompt. It's like it's
An
being
artist.
driven by someone who's like has like a designer's intention, and
Yeah,
so I think that's really cool.
for sure, man.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of bad things that could happen from all this, but I'm trying not to think about it.
Yeah, I don't think, like, this is just my opinion. I don't think it would do something as bad as people think it would do to it. Just like you said, just another tool. But yeah, of course, we need like good limits to what we do, and know what's real and what's not. Like what's yeah,
Yeah,
like the intention behind it.
I mean, I love how it's like I just got like this plugin Soothe for mixing, which like
Oh yeah,
there's like a lot of plugins like that are using like some form of like AI,
yeah,
computing to just make shit just sound way
yeah,
better.
yeah. I
So
believe.
I'm stoked on that, and if that bleeds into something useful like that for video, I mean, the AI stuff's definitely useful for like concepting, at least, getting ideas before you actually render something or whatever.
God, man, this talk has been really amazing, and I really love that you got to, talk about all this technical stuff that let's say that people, I guess it's not for everyone. Of course, that's why you do it. Like you're a professional. You do this kind of stuff. And you love it. You enjoy it. It's your passion, I believe, and I really admire that you have that space and that you have been like recognized. For um bands and people in general, artists. I really love that, and I'm really, I would say, like, proud, even if we just met, but I would say proud because I've seen your growth. Also,
Thank you, man.
this
Appreciate that. That means a lot.
and yeah, man. So before you go, I would you like to do something that I ask every guest, which is like, who would you like to be the next guest, or invite the next guest of this podcast?
Guess.
can be anyone, just music related, you know.
Hmm. Did Chili Toy say me?
He actually said Clayton and
Oh,
a
nice.
friend of him, Nella. Yeah. So he's invited too. Yeah.
Clayton would be a good one. Clayton King, right?
Yeah. Clint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. He's great.
I mean, there's so many like good guitar players. Thinking about like guitarists who are good at other things.
Like
I know
versatile.
the guy. I noticed the guy from Bleed From Within is like a similar. Like he does a lot of really cool motion design work, and
Oh
obviously his
yeah.
band is sick. I feel like as soon as I open Instagram,
Yeah. You can
I'm gonna like
take
be like,
take
oh
your
yeah,
time.
that's who I would say. But at the
Okay.
moment, I can't really think of anyone. Yeah, I mean, I might have to get back to you.
Fine. Yeah. You can DM me and tell me like who you like to be. Can be any. Would love to get to know more musicians and artists that like this, like that I really admire. Like they have this passion for, different things, like really versatile, that maybe don't get, like the recognition that I think they should have. So
Yeah, I think. I mean, Clayton is a huge following or whatever, but he would definitely be a good guest
yeah,
with his mix of skills, especially.
for sure. Yeah,
I'd be
I
interested to hear him talk about it all.
he will be in it as soon next. Like I've talked to him a few weeks ago, and he's such a great guy, really humble, and I really
That too,
enjoy his
yeah,
work too.
yeah.
Really cool. So yeah, Clint Austin, everyone. Thank you for coming, man.
Thanks for having me, man. This is fun.